What's going on? It's your boy Larry Philly Carter. You can catch up with me at Mr. Carter ATL on Instagram, or you can follow my blog on YouTube, Philly World. Make sure you, while you're on Instagram, follow Culture Club ATL. All right, I'll see you there.
Alright, here we go. Let me slide in real quick.
That's what she said. Yes, she said, yes, I am right quick.
Is that
Who's going to be responsible?
okay? I am. What's the deal?
Thank you.
I was wondering because I saw that right here.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
to make sure it's to make sure it's full. To make sure what this backpack is zipped up.
We're gonna move this thing out the way.
All right, no problem.
Hey, Harold, how you doing? Good to see you. Good. Good.
Good what?
Take my black ass upstairs. I'm gonna get some more.
Okay, you gonna get yourself together?
Yeah.
You do good, guys. Listen, I just appreciate that. No, I agree with something. Okay. Same here. Same here. Y'all take care. Have a good episode. Bye.
Because it's so cute. So cute.
What is it?
Oh, you're so cute. I heard you growling earlier. Who upset you?
Alright.
Bye, cute. See you later, Devin.
Hi, Devin.
Everything's on, working.
I don't know who's watching.
Omar, need water?
I don't know who's extra
Oh, and then Lenti.
Chris just do the whole.
Chris,
Chris, so I'm all on the side of the room.
My normal chair.
I'm exhausted right now. Huh?
Oh my
What did you say?
Yes. You always think you're a Republican.
I'm pro-person, pro-choice, pro for the people.
Well, okay.
I just don't think that everybody should just sit at home, watch stories, and collect food stamps. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
All right, so we are going to.
Of course, we know Trey agrees.
Okay, so
Yes.
don't want to get on there with
these are the topics that we're gonna. These are the topics that we're gonna talk about. You meet someone and everything is great.
Can I have
Then they tell
Can I
you-
have him with me?
Then they tell you that they are trans. Then the next one is, can Facebook break up friendships? Can your friends mix up, or should you have your own? How progressive the ATL gay community is versus other places. Why do we curb the nice guy or girl? How do you get over a broken heart?
Did y'all talk about Libya already?
We didn't.
So I'm nervous because I can't comment on ATL.
The Virgin thing took over.
Yeah, we didn't
just
talk
moved
about
here.
Libya. So we'll talk about Libya.
I mean, we don't have to. I was just asking.
Yeah, no, but people wanted us to talk about it and asked why I didn't put a video up talking about it. All right, so.
But it's gonna be way late by the time.
No, I'm gonna put this video. I'll put this video first.
Okay.
And then I'll do the sexual assault video after. Say your name and. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What's going on, world? Thank you guys for tuning in to A Connection TV, the network, the one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to Culture Club. Like we do in every episode, we are going to reintroduce ourselves from our right to our left. State your name and who would you save if they were going to die? Your mother or your father?
That's with that movie.
So,
That's just rude.
You've seen the movie.
Omar, my mother.
All right.
Sherrod and of course Mom Dukes.
All right.
Olivia, my mother.
All right. Wesley and hi, Mom.
Maurice, and I would say my mom.
My name's Chris June, and I would say my mom.
I'm Larry, and I was trying to say both of them. I'm sorry.
I wish I could say that too.
It's one or the other.
Oh my gosh.
We all
why?
have to do it.
Well, my dad is not watching, so it'll probably be my mom. She will be watching. She will.
Isn't that interesting that no one said their father? Not one person.
Daddy wasn't there.
Yeah, I live that life too. We are in a world where slavery is still happening. We are in a world where people are being sold. We are in a world where people are being shot just because they're gay. We are in a world where things are catastrophic.
I mean, I think it's horrible, but I think it still exists here in the U.S. And like we make ourselves feel better by saying that it doesn't happen here. It does. And it's like children being abducted and sold into sex
And it's actually
slavery.
huge here in Atlanta.
Right.
Yes, it
This
is.
is a huge spot for it.
Uh-huh.
Which is like, I don't know, I just feel like we have all of this technology and all of these things that we have, and these primitive things are still happening. Why?
Why? It's because a lot of people use these devices and stuff for narcissistic reasons. Everything has become like about wealth. How many followers do you have? How much money do you have? And that depends, and now we're getting into this almost like class type system that's based on followers and money and things, and your willingness to be able to help people. I can tell you from an actor's perspective how many times I've reached out to people. Wes will always post something if I ask him to post something for me to help me promote whatever I'm doing on my level, and a lot of times you don't get people who feel like they are a part of what is actually happening, that, you know, even though I maybe actually do something I was a part of, the narrative is something that I'm trying to push forward. You know, so when we're in a society now where people only look at what are they personally going to get out of the situation, instead of thinking about how can we access others' information, how can we use our platforms to actually start a movement and inspire people to work together.
As a diaspora of Africa, right? Because I'm from the Caribbean. So black people, we are still dealing with the ramifications of slavery that we know as the official institution of slavery that happened hundreds of years ago. So to see that this is still happening today, I mean, you shudder. Like, how does this happen? How does this happen with systems like the UN and other global, you know, watch guards that are supposed to be taking care of us while we all try to live our lives and try to still come out of that we are still dealing with? And I don't care if you're African American, if you are African from the Caribbean, if you are African that happens to now live in India or Australia. I mean, it is everywhere. So to see that this still is happening, I think it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, and it makes you feel helpless.
Olivia?
Let's be clear. We have, in this country, had more years of which we were enslaved than we have years of which we've been free. So it shouldn't be a shock to anybody. I think it's a shock to most people because they see, you know, people held up in chains. So they see the images today of the images that they've seen, you know, of what we consider slavery on these grounds. U.S. soil is what I mean, these grounds. So we still have a lot of remnants of oppression and slavery that happened today. We just talked about that not too long ago as far as how welfare and how food stamps play into our society. That is actually a tool that should be used, yes, for, you know, a bridge to help us out, but let's be clear, we are not on equal footing, okay? Our oppressors have been continuing to build wealth. Let's not forget that our ancestors 2 generations ago couldn't even get things like health insurance, couldn't get things to build wealth. So now grandma has passed away 2 generations ago, and now you had to spend every single penny that you had to bury her. So now you have nothing to give to your children and your children's children, and so on and so on and so forth. So it keeps you in this system of enslavement. Okay, the 13th Amendment was not really helping us to be all the way free, because what happened is that you walked around and you then, weren't working for whatever reason because you couldn't find work. Now you're part of a chain gang. Now all of a sudden that's another level of slavery. Let's look at our prison system. It is another form of slavery. We have black men who are behind bars today for crimes that are no longer crimes. Selling marijuana or possession of marijuana in states where it is legal, but they are still behind bars. So that is slavery. We should not be shocked. We are seeing it every day. It's just manifesting in different ways.
True.
It's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest because I really do not like talking about subjects like this. But I just want to say, do you guys think our president has anything to do with this? As far as it still being...
No, it predates him. No. This has been going on in Libya for years. We just catch it on. The same thing like Santoya Brown. Okay. That girl been locked up since 2006. All of a sudden my whole timeline for Instagram is we should free her. She been locked up for the last 10 years.
Do you think it's going to stop? I don't think it's going to stop.
I think that our president currently, who is still the leader of the free world, who is still the legitimate voice that people are... We may think that he's a joke. Mm-hmm. Other countries have to listen to him because of the U.S. military. Have to listen to him. And the things that he is saying, the ideas that he is bringing back, it is validating all of these people who behind their backs would have been okay, yeah, we could do this, but we need to do it underground. If you have the leader of the free world, mm-hmm. who is still that entitled, even though a lot of us don't like that, but who is saying the kind of words that will sort of give ease to this kind of behavior, it's going to... People around the world who do it, they're going to feel emboldened to do it. How do you feel?
So I think we've gotten to a point in society, and I think someone hit it earlier, where we're under cloak and dagger. A lot of people are looking at social media, celebrityness, making money, and we forgot about the things that once oppressed us, technically. And we've taken our eye off of it. To your point, it's been going on in Libya for years. We've just had blinders on. We thought because it doesn't happen here anymore, then we're good. And if you notice, there's not much talk about it, as much as the sex scandal. We can talk more about sex scandal and what's going on with Matt Lauer and that money situation than we can about people in Libya being put back in a sex trafficking in that environment. And that's where the problem starts. We are perpetuating a situation where we dictate what's important to us and what's not.
So my question to the panel and to the people out there watching, what is it that we can do that can make a difference?
First is education. Why is the things that are happening in Libya now escalating to this point all of a sudden? Mm-hmm. Why did we go into Libya and then take Muammar Gaddafi out of power? Mm-hmm. And now militiamen are now running a muckus within Libya. We gotta know the past, but if we just think about things as, oh, we just need to go in and send the armies in and stop this. No, it's a little bit bigger and a little bit more than just that. Okay. Libya, you shaking and rocking.
Follow the money. Follow the money. This ain't about, y'all think it's about something way more than it is. These billionaires are continuing to... Gaddafi was taken out on purpose. I'm not saying that he was the dopest thing.
No, absolutely not.
He was there.
He was not.
And he was doing some stuff.
Right.
And it was some stuff.
But, right.
But he actually, the same way that I felt like Castro. A lot of people can say how they feel about Castro. Yep. But their literacy, numbers, they were at 13 or 14% before he took power or leadership. Right. Now they're at 98% literacy. People go to Cuba right now to get their medical degrees because the education system has been built so well. Now they still driving around in 1950s cars, and that's not their fault because they had the trade embargo. So it's follow the money. A lot of people are like, oh, Castro, communism. No, the reason why we were trained or conditioned to not like Cuba is because Castro came up in there and real quick he was like, look, we no longer going to do this. I don't know if a lot of you out here know that Cuba used to be Las Vegas. They used to go down there and they used to just do whatever they wanted to do. All of them, the golf buddies or whatever, the politicians, they would go down there, have a good time with the Cuban women and do whatever they needed to do, leave it in shambles, and then go back home. So, of course, they cleaned it up and made it look real nice in Las Vegas where it's not as, you know, it's a little bit more polished. But that used to be Las Vegas. So Castro was like, you're not going to come here and do this to my women and my men and make us, no, we're not doing that. So America was like, oh, word. And so that's why we started the trade embargo. It's about money. It's all of this is about money.
So follow the money, but also, what was Hillary's involvement in taking Muammar Gaddafi out of power?
What does that have to do with the conversation of slavery in Libya?
Because it's all tied in. You took him out of power. To her point, there was some type of control. He wasn't the best, but we've allowed America and certain things to go into other countries before we take care of our own. And now we've caused a muck in another country. And now we've perpetuated slavery to another level in someone else's country. So to your point, same thing that happened in Iraq. Follow the money. Why did we go over there in the first place?
Oh, we know why we went over there. Come on now.
So I'm going back to her original point.
But I don't know. I don't know that narrative.
Well,
And that's what the audience has to start educating.
Does anybody know where the money is or why it's happening?
It's continuing to circulate in that 1%.
Give me some.
Some money.
I feel like I need for me, I just want a little bit more of a 3D picture. But I do understand what you're saying. I mean, because the whole area in Libya has just been destabilized, and so they have no natural sense of like basic security. They don't have basic needs or anything. And you know, apart from Italy, is the only country that's taking in refugees from Libya. The UN, Europe aren't doing anything to do that, and it's really disheartening to see that going on, because there's not really too much you can do with as it terms to if you don't have the money, if you don't have the resources. I feel like something that's so different nowadays than back then, when organized and stuff like that, is that the internet is such a important part of like exchanging information. And if you guys don't know, that's on the line too. Your access to that very, very soon. So as far as organizing and being able to move and put pressures on economies and society, we don't live in a society where we can't really make pressure unless we're able to kind of show something online that in some type of media that shows why, because we've petitioned or because we've reached out, we've called, we don't have access to the phone numbers, whatever the case is. So I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm trying to figure out myself, like I don't know how we could really galvanize something the way that we used to with like marches and things of that nature in today's world.
2018 is a powerful year. Let's not forget, a lot of elected officials come due. So the education will start with calling up. I actually started doing this last year, well, the beginning of this year, excuse me, calling up all the elected officials that I'm in their district and then getting to know them. Understanding, okay, so what are you about? Okay, so if I have an issue with this, or if this is now your issue, say, okay, so what you going to do with, how can you help this issue that we have over here? Can you make change? Can you affect change? Because 2018 is a power year. There's so many seats coming due. Push that button and make these people work for you and get half of these 30 and 40 and 50 year veterans and been sitting in the damn Senate and Congress and the governorships and all of these positions, get their asses out. For real. Sorry.
All right, how do you feel?
Well, I'll say this. One of my African American studies teachers always said, think about what you know, why you know it, and who benefits from it. And I feel like a lot of what happens in our world today is it's like a lot of stuff is planted in the news and what's important. And like you said, I don't think it's us controlling the narrative, but you have to think about who owns the news stations. Who
just
owns
time? Who just bought time?
Who owns these things? And then that's where the trail starts, because you are diverted away from situations where you think about slavery and you're like, well, where's the money coming from? Well, who benefits? Companies benefit from free labor. Like when you think about imprisonment, like you benefit from that free labor. So all of those products that are being made by these people who are enslaved, that is the control, because we buy them and we eat them up, and then if it's on Amazon for a cheaper price, we go ahead and click that button, not knowing where it's coming from or who made it or how the workers are being treated, and those are the things that matter. I'm trying not to say much, but
no, I mean that's what scares me a lot, is that we have so many people who just buy into whatever's most convenient, whatever is hot, and they're not looking at, is that person even going to come back and reflect my interests? I remember responding to a Facebook post that was like, what's one thing you could change in the gay community? And I was like, to stop having non-LGBT supportive artists come to these events. We live our lives happy that, and despite the things, despite being gay, we can move forward and we can still be productive and bring in income, and we go to Pride to celebrate being gay, and then we pour that money into someone who is never going to say anything, sign a petition, do anything to push forward our awareness and our narrative, and then still walk away saying that we're proud of anything. Like, I feel bad that we're not looking at, is this a black-owned business? Is this a business who's going to reflect our interests? It's a small business within my community, and put our money into that. And it's just like, until we can really start to change that, then we can't even shift the money that we're getting paid from those corporations and from those jobs and reinvesting them into the initiatives that are actually going to move forward change for minorities.
But we can do that. Shameless plug, I don't know this person, but I love her her application. It's called Official Black Wall Street, OBW. You can find everything from, detergent to toilet paper. These are all black-owned businesses who make these products, and you can have access to them. So it's Official Black Wall Street. It is available online. It's also available on Android and on an iPhone. So go get that app so that you can invest in your community, because right now we do know that in black communities, the dollar circulates for 6 hours, comparative to, in a Jewish neighborhood, 24 days.
So that in itself, what she just said was powerful. So I'm gonna hold on to that thought just for a second. Just hold on to it. Just let it sit there for a second. Okay, you caught that. So we're gonna move on real quick. How progressive is the ATL gay community versus any other place? Starting with Larry.
I was ready to listen. I think Atlanta's gay community is progressive, and I think I say that because there are more people who are out and proud of who they are and being examples and showing that we can do it. And I think that is a major part of progression, is having those examples and having those images to live up to, as you were saying when you were younger. Like having young gay people who live here in Atlanta, because like they're coming out in like middle school and high school, some in elementary school, and having those examples of successful gay men and lesbian women who are doing it in this city, like owning businesses and running for office and changing things. I think that is powerful.
Chris?
Yeah, I think that if you have to compare to any other city, there's no other place that you can really say, apart from Atlanta, where you're going to get this much of progressive ideology when it comes to black gay people. They don't get as many chances as they do in this city. Black gay people here get a lot of chances to really prove themselves. And I think that, especially from an artistic standpoint, this is a great place. You know what I'm saying? If you're a black LGBT artist, you know what I'm saying, and want to move forward. I'm from DC originally, so I would say DC would probably be next on my list, as far as, maybe because I just know the city, but as far as like being very progressive for gay people in general, and you have a lot of reflections of gay people in very, very powerful positions there, where they're allowed to be open and allowed to be, you know, but I feel like, so from a corporate standpoint, DC's definitely got it, but I feel like from an artistic expression, and probably just as in a general expression, Atlanta is definitely on the front edge of progressiveness.
As a city, I will say that I'll admit that I just moved here, literally 6 days ago. And I moved here from DC. And so I think that one of the reasons why I'm very conscious of moving to a place where I don't feel like a unicorn, or I don't feel like I stand out, or I don't feel like I have to work extra hard in order to fit in or to bury my identity, just to live. And so for me, moving here was a very conscious decision because I had visited many times. I had seen many people who look like me, who are thriving, who are supported, who are validated, because you see folks around you looking like you, thriving the way that you want to one day, and as well as just living life, man, just living life. And so in that regard, I've always appreciated Atlanta for that. But I'm going to make sure that we can also there's a lot to get caught up in as well. And so being here, I'm finally at an age where I feel like I can come here for what I want to do, stay focused, and feel validated by the amount of beautiful black gay men and women around me who will make me feel even more emboldened to go after my dreams.
One of the reasons why I moved to Atlanta was because of the freedom of expression in terms of being gay and being comfortable with being who you are. And so when I compare, because this is my 5th state that I've lived in. I've lived in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, Florida, and Georgia. Connecticut, not so much. You can't really walk around and be free. Massachusetts, not so much either, at least at the time when I was living there. New York, everybody knows about New York, but you still have a lot of hate crime in New York as well. Florida, specifically, I'm from Orlando. I will say that the gay population in Orlando is pretty accepted and open, and there are some gay-owned businesses there, and there are still a lot of gay clubs and venues happening in Orlando. Parliament House is one of the staples for Orlando. But I'm hearing that DC is becoming a bit of a pushback when it comes to gay-owned places and things of that nature. And I don't live there, so I don't know what's happening in DC. But that is one of the reasons why I moved to Atlanta. Miss Olivia, you are our token lesbian. Is it different for the lesbians here?
I don't know, because I live in a different experience because I appear different. So I'd have to tell you that I'm gay all the time. I'd have to tell you. So I don't have I couldn't really say from my own experience whether I think Atlanta is progressive or not, because for the most part, people just look at me like, regular hetero black woman. So.
Yeah, I would have thought that.
I would have thought that.
See, most people do.
For me, I would say I would agree too that Atlanta is very, like, how do I put this?
Progressive.
Yeah, sorry. It's very progressive. I can remember like my senior year, and I had my goddad, and he was my dance instructor. He was like, "I'm gonna take you to your first Pride." I was like, "What the hell is that?" And he was like, "You'll see." So we drove, and he brought me here. And it was just amazing to see like people just like me, just like living out loud and just talented and just making money. Like I just knew that this was where I was going to end up. And by the grace of God, I'm here and progressing right along with everybody else. So I definitely appreciate being here and how the city and the community is progressing.
So I'm from Miami, Florida.
What part?
Liberty City.
Okay.
So when I think about my childhood, I came out when I was 14, 15. And I had like an older brother type figure that kind of watched over me. I don't know if I lived a out life, but I didn't live an in life either. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't realize Atlanta at the time in '96 was
That place.
I was more attracted to the whole freak thing than anything else.
Yes.
Right? So, but Atlanta definitely more progressive. I've had, since '96, since moving here right out of high school, a great career, great own businesses. I cannot say that it has been anything but a blessing to be in Atlanta for me. So.
All right. Very,
What did
very.
you say that? I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go through the whole panel. But what did you say that Atlanta is one of the few places where you see more entrepreneurs than any place else,
Really?
especially in our community. I see, like when I speak to somebody and they tell me that they actually have a real job, like they like go to a corporation, like they go somewhere. I'm like, really?
Right.
Most people
Right.
just have 1,000 hustles. Like this is the hustle city. Like everybody got like mad irons in the fire, and everybody's pretty much an entrepreneur here, at least in the LGBT community. So I think that also makes us more progressive because we got stuff to do.
I would agree. The only thing I kind of would love for our black gay leaders to do more of is hire more black gays, younger black gays, because the things that they don't learn at home will be the things that they will learn from us being mentors and giving them guidance to the whole sex crime thing, to just being out there over the top, what you wear, how you present yourself in a business meeting, how do you carry yourself, what is a relationship, is it for you or is it not for you? What is politics? What is welfare? What are all those things that they may not get from home that we can instill in them because someone did it for us, or they didn't do it for us, but we know what to do for them?
I'm not saying that you can't do both. I think that I feel like most of the leaders that you're talking about, they have now become a little bit. No,
Elite.
they are elitists. They're very elitist, and they don't really want to help, their community and look back and not realize that they came from these kind of communities. So, they're interested in going to a black tie event and not necessarily, but you know what?
There's two sides to the coin too. I mean, when you think about that, it's like, but who do you choose to help? How do you choose? It's not like you can just go out in the street and pick somebody up. Like I'm mentoring a young man in DC right now, because he reached out to me and he was like, hey, I see what you're doing and like I'm interested, I'm an educator, I'm interested. And he was like, would you be willing to mentor? And I'm like, yes, I would. I would love to, but I think you also don't want to overstep and approach somebody and be like, hey, you should let me be your mentor.
No,
because that's kind of...
I think it goes back to communication, because I learned the word pedophile when I was 15.
Yeah.
Because an adult was hitting on me. And then I had a gay mentor that said, he did what? Don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. So I think constant communication, teaching people is okay to be open. It's okay to talk about things. And things that may be very taboo-ish, no, we need to talk about it. So that going forward, just like that young man, he's willing to reach out. And you're not going to be able to save everybody, but one person at a time, one situation at a time.
And you don't have to go into the street. You can go into different kind of communities, go into a school and then, be a guest speaker, go into different community programs, that, especially any of the homeless shelters that take in LGBTQIA, people. There's tons of places where we can do more.
Absolutely.
My question to the panel, to divert, because you know how I like to switch shit up. Why do we curve the nice guy? Why? Why do we curve the nice guy? Why do we say it's not gonna work for me?
Because she's boring.
Is that how you feel?
Because she's boring.
Yes.
So let's define nice. What is nice to you?
Nice is someone being nice. I'll say this. I recently had someone tell me I was boring. And, I had to say, you either accept me as I am or not at all. So just because I don't do the things that you may want to do that turns up and have fun, we can still go out and have conversation, enjoy each other's company, but not always going out drinking and things of that nature. So nice to me is just someone spending time with me, enjoying our company, giving me advice when it's solicited, and even sometimes when not solicited, if I'm doing something crazy and weird. And then also, welcoming my feedback to them as well.
Would you consider yourself to be a nice guy, Sherrod? Or do you curve the nice guys?
I'm a little bit of both.
Why do you curve the nice guy? Why is a nice guy?
Okay. I think a lot of people want somebody who they can't have, and that's normally the bad guy. And we always run away from the nice guys because either they look a certain type of way, or they just not up to speed with us, or they just not our style. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that does go on. But then two, you know, sometimes you gotta be a little nice to get what you want. So, it's both sides for me.
Chris, why do you curve the nice guy, or do you not curve the nice guy?
Ain't he the nice guy?
I was about to say.
Well, I'm the nice guy. So, I think.
Do you get curved on a regular basis?
No. I don't.
Tell you.
Now I feel like I used to, and I think that when you're nice, you can't just be nice. Like I feel like you have to have other things that are working for you, because I think nice sometimes looks as being meek and being shy, but like one thing, I'm nice, but at the same time I'm very competitive too, and I'm a hustler. So I'm gonna go after my shit. And so at the end of the day, when someone gets to see that side of things, they're like, oh shit, you know, so that you can be nice and do those things too. Yeah, you can. So I think as far as just being nice, you know, I mean, what is that? I feel like you have to like really, you got to have an edge to you in some degree, some shape or form. I can think of a lot of celebrities who are very, very nice. You can see their interview. You know, she's so sweet, she's so soft-spoken, but you give her that role or that opportunity, or now she's public speaking and she's a firecracker. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, nice is not a broad enough term.
I really want to ask, what do you mean by nice?
Well, a lot of individuals say, Wesley, it's very hard for me to find a man, or it's hard for me to find a girl. I think it's just because I'm so too nice. Like you give people things on their birthday, or you remember certain dates, like when you met, and you create anniversaries, or you give someone a thank you note or a thank you card. You're genuine. You think about them. You hit them up on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to we have these individuals out here where you text them and you don't hear from them for 3 days out of the week, versus a guy that's very attentive and will be there and respond to you. We'll go for the person that ignores us for 3 days versus the person that actually picks up the phone and texts us back. So in terms of those kinds of things, you have the nice person versus the person that can show you that they care, but they choose not to because they're stuck in their whatever they got going on.
Age makes a difference too, though,
Yeah, I
right?
don't think people like gotta be stuck.
Age makes a difference.
Of course, you're not going to think that because you're the person that ignores people's text messages.
I do. I do. I'm not ignoring you because I don't like you. I'm not ignoring you. It's not a conscious effort. I'm going to ignore you.
Ignoring is when you don't respond.
I have other things that I'm taking care of, and I have like a lot of, you know, irons in the fire. And honestly, I'm the worst communicator. You know that. Like, I'm the worst communicator. So you'll send me a text, I'll be on the phone with someone else, and then I forgot you text me, and then you gotta call me back. Why you ain't text me back?
I didn't know.
But you said earlier that being nice is boring. So what qualifies someone as boring?
See, nice people don't work for me, and I'm okay. Because I've recognized that we don't, like, when you were saying somebody who's attentive, because that's annoying. Like, you text me every single day, we not for each other. Like, that's too much. I need distance. I need space. Like, back up off me. I don't need that. And I'm not mad at somebody who texts me once a week, because I know you on your grind and you hustling. So, see, we're not equipped. Me and that definition of the nice, we don't yoke well. Like, I don't want somebody to go out of their way every other day and you show up and you got flowers and candy. Like, that's not my zhuzh. Like, I don't need that. So you're boring to me and we're not going to get along.
It's kind of like you want to make the person want you or miss you. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't need you to want to miss me. I mean, I just, you know.
So I'm going to make it clear to everybody out there, just because you have the ability to be attentive and to cater to and to be nice to, doesn't mean that you don't have many irons in the fire. It doesn't mean that you don't have more hustles than the person that will ignore your text for no apparent reason. So I just want to make that clear to you. If you are out there and that is your existence, brother and sister, keep moving on and keep having all those fucking irons in the fire, because you can clearly do both. You can be nice and you can make your money too. So I just want to put that out there.
I just want to put that out there because the way you said that was just like just because I'm nice, I don't have a hustle. I'm not working.
No, that's the way that
I had to get somebody together the other day on the phone.
I'm sorry that I scratched an insecurity because that is not what I was saying.
No, it's not an insecurity. It's not an insecurity. It's called clarity, boo. It's called clarity. Because at the end of the day, let's match bank accounts to the people that are out there thinking that just because I can answer a fucking text message doesn't mean that I'm not on my grind. Let's match bank accounts. That's all I'm saying out there.
So if you're nice, you got a good bank account.
Let me just say something.
All the nice brothers, please hit my Instagram up.
If you don't mind, so it's very important to make the distinguishment between busyness and neglect. Okay, because being busy does not supersede neglect. You know, it's just like you can't say that you're busy and all of a sudden now that excuses you from neglect. Like if I'm busy, I have to get back to you when I have the time, when I get back to you, and then I have to be able to say for whatever reason that is going to appease you on your level of what your value system is as far as what is busy and what is not. It's for me to be able to say that it's okay. Because at the end of the day, if I am got a whole lot of irons in the fire and I hadn't responded to your text message, but I'm able to tell you about all the topics we filmed here on Culture Club while I wasn't able to text you back and what I was doing last night and this and that and all these exciting things, then it seems to make sense versus if someone is just like, oh, my bad.
And I agree. Okay, yes. And when I do have conversations with people and I hadn't text you back, I do make sure that, now we have a 2-3 hour conversation, but that shouldn't happen every day. Like, I'm sorry. I have things to do. And part of that as well that I didn't mention is I believe in self-care. So my phone will go off at a certain time and I don't want to deal with anybody. Not my mother, not my sister, my brother, my cousin. I am taking care of me. And if taking care of me means I'm going to take a bubble bath or I'm going to watch Stranger Things, or I'm just gonna lay in the bed and think about God. That's my time. I don't want to talk to you, and it doesn't mean that I don't like you or I'm not rocking with you. It means that I'm busy. That is part of being busy. I got things to do.
Some of the people you should date in your league.
Thank you.
If you know, as you're meeting people, what I mean by your league is, if you know how Olivia is, and you know that does not work for you, don't push to try to date Olivia.
Don't.
That's not gonna work. You're not gonna change her. That's like saying you're gonna change a hoe into a house husband. You can't do it.
But why we gotta use that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Why we gotta use that?
Put the label right over there. Put the label right over there.
Why we gotta go there?
House husband, right? For the guys. But like I said, dating your lead. If you got a progressive person that you're dating and you're progressive, you guys will both understand each other's time being taken up for different things. And then at the end of the day, when you come together, your minds will meet and say, how was your day? It was busy. Mine was too. Let me tell you what happened. And then you bring it together. Now, if you got someone that's overly needy and you are overly needy, y'all can text each other every 5 minutes. And then enjoy each other's sexes every 5 minutes. And then keep it rocking. But don't chase something that's not within your realm. But now, everybody's different.
Because this is the thing. People are going to tell you that I was busy in both situations. But it's up to you to figure out if you've been neglected or not. Because people are not going to say, I just neglected your phone call. I just neglected to get it back to you. It's just that I was busy for whatever reason. So you're still going to get the same. You're going to get the same.
Neglect, though, is a strong word because that is entitlement. You're not entitled to my time. I'm sorry.
Are you trying to get to know me?
No, I'm a nice guy, but it doesn't. If I am trying to get to know you, you still can't be like, you can't force me to be on your time schedule, on your time frame.
Let me tell you something. It's disrespectful. I don't know. I'm serious. It's disrespectful. No matter how you want to put it. If somebody reaches out to you and you don't get back to them, you have just become comfortable with the way we do things in 2017. But it is still disrespectful if someone reaches out to you and you don't get back to them. Okay?
Lies.
Because let me tell you something about communication. When you don't communicate effectively, you leave the other person to wonder what is going on or whatever it is because you don't want to communicate
effectively. That's not my responsibility.
So it's not your responsibility.
Do something. No, it's not my responsibility what you're doing with your mind. Like if I don't answer your call and you start to think I'm off doing something else, that's on you. Because I'm just saying for me, I work a full-time job. I'm working on a doctorate. I go go to school full time. So sometimes between work and school, I don't want to talk on the phone. So it might be I might talk to you in the morning, and then I might not talk to you till the next day because I got a class.
Fine, but I'm just saying it's still disrespectful.
But I shouldn't have to worry like, oh my God, is he worried?
If someone called you during that time, if someone texted you during that time, no, because I'm being
There's different degrees. You're not gonna go the entire day without talking to your husband.
I do.
I'm about to say,
I do.
The whole day.
Like,
because if you was
You
talking
talk
about
at some point. You talk at some point though.
No, we might text, but we don't talk. Like I might send him a text, like if something.
What kind of marriage
he
you
knows.
Ooh, don't do
The
that.
kind that lasts 4 years. Don't do it. 4 years, 2 houses, 2 beds.
Thank you,
Let's go.
baby.
Don't do it.
Okay, but don't have communication then, because I would have told
That's your level of communication.
Whatever works for y'all relationship. I just said the lead. You gotta stay in that lead.
When someone talks about nice and accepting nice treatment from someone, right? Accepting it. Because as you're trying to get to know somebody, it's going to depend on how you expect them and how you expect to be treated.
Right.
And you're going to say what is acceptable for you, and you're going to behave depending on how you want someone to treat you.
Boundaries, yes.
Right? When we say nice, I remember when I was younger and I liked that more masculine, more quiet. The thing is with the more quiet folks, they didn't communicate the way I needed them to. The more masculine folks, sometimes you weren't sure if they're going to choke you or choke you, right? I mean, what I'm saying is, when you were sort of attracted to some sort of, however it presents, right? However, whatever you're into, however that presents, when you say someone who is nice, and what you're willing to accept in terms of treatment when you're trying to get to know somebody, when you're trying to actively date somebody, a jump off is a jump off, which is something different, right? Now, if you're trying to talk to somebody and you're trying to accept communication from someone, and however that goes back and forth, the word nice is how you're going to apply here, right? So for me, when somebody who is do we curve the nice guys? I think that I'm in a different place in my life where I appreciate somebody saying, let me bring you a rose or a dozen roses or buy lunch for you or something like that. There was a time when I was younger when I would react to somebody dogging me out, not texting me back for 2 days, and me being the one needing them, right? I feel like there was a place, and people go through that in different stages. I mean, it may have been what I was nurtured around, what I observed from the treatment of my sisters when I was younger. I mean, there are different reasons for why I was probably attracted to a little lower standard of treatment that would be sort of fairly acceptable if you're trying to date somebody.
Right. I think it's important to distinguish. If you're dating someone, then you have to be, if you say that you're going to do this thing, if you want to get to know somebody, then as far as communication goes, it falls under that umbrella that if I reach out to you, that you respond to me. Now, when you get into a situation where it's already locked down, we said that no matter what, then it's just like, okay, you know what it is, you know what it ain't. If I don't call you back, I'm going to get back to you when I get back to you. That's a different situation. But, I think that we have to be mindful of,
I think, but no, hold on.
Go ahead.
So you talked about that being disrespectful, and I still think that I'm going to push on it and say that if it bothers you, it is your ownership and your responsibility to communicate that and say, hey, I text you this time, and so in between all of that time, I felt uneasy, I felt uncomfortable because you did not reply back to me.
No,
make it a space. I'm not done. Because I don't feel like that's fair, because in many of the examples that Larry brought up, he's doing a lot of different things. So it's not a disrespect to you. It's not an affront to you. It is, things are happening and I can't get to you right now.
You're not getting what I'm saying.
I got what you said. You said if I text you and you didn't text me back, that's disrespectful.
At the end of the day, yes. Once you finally get a moment,
yes. Disrespectful?
I'm not. What you're saying? You're saying two arguments. You're saying that if you're doing something, yes, you're saying two. You're saying if you're doing something at the particular time and someone doesn't text you back, then you have to be mindful of all what you said. But at the end of the day, when you get done with what you're doing, if you don't reach back out to me and say, hey, I missed your call. Hey, I've been busy for the last couple of days. Whatever.
But that's not my responsibility.
That's effective communication. It's disrespectful. Let me tell you why. When you go down the street and you run into someone and you just need to ask directions because it's your first time in town, and you walk past Olivia and you say, "Excuse me," and she doesn't even acknowledge you, and you keep walking forward, you and everyone else would agree that the type of behavior is just disrespectful.
First of all, you're talking about something that you're talking about
because
interpersonal conversation. No,
because
it's interpersonal communication versus using technology, which is no longer personal. You have now put a device in the middle of that.
Because you have defined it as not personal, but when I reach out to you and I call you and I expect that missed call feature of you to get that text message, then that's my effort. That's all I can do.
I think
that's ridiculous.
Your expectation.
Right, manage your own expectations. Like you can't, you putting too much on that person.
I think the biggest takeaway from this is what this man said over here. People are going to be them regardless. People are going to make people are going to coast through life the way that they feel that they have to coast through life. And if they feel that getting to you at that particular time is not something that they want to do or that they're able to do because of whatever they have going on in their life, that's up to them. It's up to you to decide on whether or not you're going to continue to deal with that person and how they choose to live their life.
And not judge them.
But what I will say though is, because I'm a person that loves to communicate, and I'm a person that will get back to a text, and I don't excuse my busyness, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, to be the reason why I'm not going to get back to you. That's just me though.
But you also, with me at least, you also say, "Girl, I texted you 2 days ago. What happened?" And then I'll be like, "Oops, my bad."
Well, why do you even have to apologize if that's something that's what you do? Why do you apologize for what you do?
But no, but
I don't even understand.
they have two different relationships.
Are they dating? Right. It's very different relationship. It's a very different.
But what I will say is that
I just hate the fact that people say "my bad" and be like, "I'm sorry, excuse me," and then sit up here and have an argument.
Then what you need to do is that when somebody says "my bad," say, "You know what? Okay, my bad, blocked. I'm done."
Chris,
my bad that you brought it to my attention, so you feel some type of way about it. Not my bad, I did anything wrong. My bad that you feel this way. I apologize that I'm validating your feelings. I'm validating who you are. But I'm not apologizing for me being me. Get out of here.
Hold on.
I'm apologizing that I made you feel that way. But I'm not apologizing.
I will say though that it should be.
You can apologize for what you do.
It should be something that's thought of, Larry and Olivia, and considered of the other person's feelings, especially when you realize what kind of level this person has in your life. If you know that you are that, I'm not gonna get back to you, I'm doing this, I got my doctorate, I'm doing that, I got curling irons in the fire, whatever y'all got going on. If you know that you're that type of person and you've allowed this person to come into your life and you understand how they are, would it be that much of you to be like, "Oh, wait a minute, oh, hey, my bad. Oh, okay, how you texting me? How are you?" You know what I'm saying? It's not asking for a lot. It really isn't. Because to his point, if you have to say, "Oops, my bad," then you already know that this kind of like off for why you didn't respond.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know about the people that you deal with.
I'm just saying. Other people's lives. That's what I want to say.
That's not an exaggeration to expect someone to get back to you.
It is. It's your expectation on somebody else's time.
Let me tell you something.
You can't.
It is a breakdown of respect that has happened over time.
Their expectations.
Take away these phones, take away these read receipts, and when you can say seen and stuff, and when someone speaks, you are supposed to speak back to that person. If someone is right behind you, you open the door and you let them in. And let me tell you, and when people don't, you be like, "That bitch, why the fuck didn't she let me in?" All these bags in my hand. That's what the fuck we do. And when we call our friends and be like, no, let me tell you, that's why I want to laugh, because you recognize reality and humor. Okay, so yes, it just came right out.
But you're so emotional about it. It's not because
I'm not emotional. First of all, don't dumb down the points that I'm making.
I'm not dumbing down the point. But I'm not dumbing down the point. But you're saying like somebody dropping the door. I don't get mad because guess what? You're not thinking about me. I'm not the center of your universe. You might have 20 other things that your mother might have just died and you rushing inside to go tell your family. How can I make me, you hold the door for me more important than what's happening in your life?
Because if you don't, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because if you don't exercise respect, you will lose it.
That's not respect. What are you talking about?
It's
not respect.
I'm gonna say
It's like
respect.
Courtesy.
Okay, can I say I love Culture Club. And the reason why
Because if you say
okay. Well, then that's courteous. If you can't be courteous, then we can't be together.
Divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer. We can agree to disagree. I love Culture Club and everything that we're able to bring because everybody is diverse. They're going to have their own opinion, and everybody is going to know what works for them in their life. So because you know that, hold on to that and just see the truth in that. Let's move on to the next little question. We got 9 minutes of this episode, and then we are done with this whole thing today. Can your friends mix up, or should you have your own friends? Can your friends mix up? So if I know Ty and Keon, and I know Olivia and Sherrod, I'm talking about all over the board, but we can go to the relationship aspect.
Well, are you talking about like when folks are in a relationship and they should have separate friends? Is that what you're meaning?
Both. In regular life, friends, or if I'm in a relationship.
I think that's totally. I would respond differently to both of those.
Okay, so we'll start off with relationship, sir.
Okay. So I've been in my relationship 18 years. My friends are
like a unicorn.
There's a lot of people out there that's done it. You just don't hear about them, like them too. But I think you can intertwine your friendships.
Can?
You can.
Okay.
However, I think there's still a sense of loyalty within the friendships. My friends are my friends. Although we're all friends, they're my friends.
Yeah. And now I'm speaking of experience. Like when I was in my relationship, we tried to, merge our friends together and just, it really didn't work. It really did not work. So I do feel like that he should have his separate friends. I should have mine. We go to, meet, okay, and keep it moving because it just gets too messy.
We did this episode already, so I'm going to repeat myself. I believe that I should have my friends, and my boo should have her friends.
Just in case you didn't see that episode, we're going to repeat ourselves. Yes, we are. Okay, just in case you didn't see that episode. But I think it's interesting though. We just had a discussion about how someone feels entitled, and so my thing is, should we feel entitled as well? My friends are my friends, and your friends are your friends. That's a sense of entitlement. So on one level, we can feel like we're entitled, but then now I don't know. It's just confusing. What I will say though is that when you do intertwine and intermingle everybody into one little pot, things can become very difficult to handle. And I think mainly because people feel entitled.
With my close friends, so my personal close friends, oftentimes when they are dating someone, I tell them I don't need to meet somebody, or you tell me when is the time that I need to know their names. If you are dating somebody and you are my close friend, I often tell them, take your time, get to know them, you tell me when you think that they're going to be here for a while, when you think that it's time for me to invest in getting to know them as your close friend, right? Now, when you then get in a relationship, I think it's important to maintain individualism. I think it's just important. I always, if I'm dating somebody, I always tell them, I said, you do the things that you would normally do with your friends. Of course, we're going to try and have some time together as we're getting to know each other, but I want you to maintain your individualism. When we get a little bit deeper into the relationship, or like if we get engaged or something like that, then we can figure out how the friends are going to factor into our relationship. But until then, I think maintaining your friends are fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you have to, if you don't want people to be friends and you know one person and you know the other person, then don't introduce them, because after that point you want to have control, and you can't do that. You can't control people and what they feel. At the end of the day, if they really have a great connection and they could really, be amazing people for each other, and even a platonic regard who am I to say that I have to control that for selfish reasons? So I've just learned that if I don't want people to be friends, I don't want them to know each other, then for me to deal with them separately. That's part of my time. Like when I go hang out with my friends, then I'm going to hang out with them. No, you can't come. I'll catch up with you later, let you know how things were. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I see them. Now, once I mix it and I bring them together, if they start clicking, then who am I to like be bigger and more important and exaggerate my importance in that situation? So,
Good job.
All right.
I didn't laugh. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I just breathed. Okay.
I don't think you were.
I know you kept looking at me.
I wasn't looking at you.
They love each other. They're cool. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I think it's cool to have your own friends. I mean, we both have different personalities, and we've had our friends for a really long time. Like most of my friends I've had since middle school. So it's like they're cool with him, but they're, like you said, my friends. Like he has his friends, I have my friends. Like we can all hang out together and do stuff together, but at the end of the day, they call him when something happens. You know, my friends call me when something happens for advice or whatever. You know, so it's like, I think that's cool. And as far as friends commingling, I just feel like it makes my life easier because then I don't have to hang out with two different sets of people. Like that's too much management because apparently I'm already abusing people by not responding.
People try to call you emotional and stuff, but they sit there pressing them with steam because there's emotions that spark out, honey, and they just little teapot over here, short and stout, and then
See, you brought it up.
Just playing.
Right, just to get a little response. So Larry, close off on this episode. What did you take away from this episode?
I think I took away from this episode, wow, it's a lot.
It was a lot. We talked about a lot. Everything from Libya to
I'm going to work on responding to my texts more often. I am going to.
Don't expect it from Olivia.
Let him get through it.
I was letting him get through it. I was just doing the extra because me and him was on the same page. Fuck that. Fuck that.
so is this a group project? Because I don't know.
No.
We got 2 minutes.
All right, sorry. I'm gonna.
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna make sure that I watch where I spend my money as well as thinking about where I spend my time as far as like with the LGBTQIA youth and making sure that I am putting back into my community.
My takeaway is I'm going to. God damn, we didn't talk about so much. I don't even know. I don't know what my takeaway is.
Okay.
I'm gonna continue doing what I've been doing. So.
All right.
It's gonna have to sit on me. It's gonna have to. I would just work like that. Ain't no hot pocket change over here.
I cannot.
For me, takeaways, I think is that educate yourself. You know, learn. There's so many issues happening outside of our country, outside of of our little bubbles sometimes. Educate yourself, self-development, get involved, but then also maintain your individuality and know how you want people to treat you when it comes to relationships and friendships and stuff like that. And however you accept, what you accept is how people are going to treat you.
Yes, go ahead now. Snap for that. I would agree. I definitely believe that education is power. And I honestly love doing these talks with everyone and so many different diverse personalities because I've taken a little bit of spice from here and a little bit of spice from here and I just throw it in the pot and it just tastes so good. What he said was really riveting to me, and it's been a part of my journey since I moved to Atlanta and dealing with a lot of the relationships bullshits that I've been dealing with and the way people respond and my expectations of people when I think that it's just common decency and courtesy to just be human.
But we did hear common courtesy. Courtesy. Okay, good.
Yeah. But everyone doesn't think that way and everyone doesn't feel that way and everyone is not that way. So to his point, if it works for you, it works for you. If it does not, remove yourself from the situation. And when I tell you that I have learned that wholeheartedly, I have learned that. And time to stop. And my sis, Miss Olivia, would be proud of me because when she first encountered Emotional West, I was just ready to fall off the fucking cliff. Now, if a bitch doesn't text me back, I can give 2 fucks. Regardless of whether I'm busy or not busy, I just know who they are and whether or not they will fit in my life. And I have the ability to remove their bitch asses out of my fucking life because they're not worth my time. Next.
Wow. Okay, so thank you. One of my takeaways is that I want to encourage everyone to download Official Black Wall Street. It is OBW. It's orange when you see it on the iPhone and Android stores, and you can also go to officialblackwallstreet.com to find every vendor for all of the different things that you're looking for when you want to reinvest back into your community. Also, it even has this little alarm that tells you, hey, you're within 2 miles away from, such and such business. You might want to visit them. So it's a really great app. I love it. It will really help you to reinvest in your community if that's something that you're looking to do. And I like to take what Chris said. I am loving me and loving the decisions and choices that I'm making, and I'm going to continue to do that.
All right. Well, like I said, I have a headache because this discussion was just a lot.
But that's because you mixed the 2 wines together. Don't be a
Anyways, what I took from this discussion, quickly, if you're gonna curve the nice guy, you might as well curve the bad guy. So 50-50. Also, I want to educate myself more on what's going on with the world because I barely know anything because I'm so self-absorbed sometimes. So I would definitely like to know what's going on. As well as, what was something else? Yeah, see, my brain is on muffled, but you get it. You get it.
All right.
If I could leave you with anything, I think that kind of tackles all of this. A mentor. Have a mentor in your life that'll help you be able to see through some of the clouds. Have an advocate in your life that'll help you get to that next level that someone else may suppress you in. And then have a sponsor in your life, someone that you can always depend on, call on, that will be there when you text them, whether it's midnight or early in the morning. So just not a sugar daddy.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm talking all from a business perspective. Always a business perspective with me. Advocate, a mentor, and a sponsor. Someone that you can call on at the drop of a dime, and they'll make things happen for you.
All right, starting from the right to the left, state your name once again and your zodiac sign.
Omar, Capricorn.
Sherrod, Libra.
Olivia, Aries.
Wesley, Leo.
Maurice, a Cancer.
Oh, what? Cancer?
I am a Cancer. We talked about this. How come?
Okay, Chris, I'm a Cancer.
And I'm Larry, I'm Sagittarius.
That's right,
Birthday
the
next
fire
week.
sign.
Thank you guys for tuning into Culture.
Hold on, I got one more
God
thing
bless.
to say. One more thing
Oh,
to say.
Lord,
Okay,
plug.
so you have to have something very important to read when you're doing this, right? Okay, so make sure you go to urbansocialites.com and subscribe to their new magazine. I'm going to be the cover for their winter 2017 issue.
All right.
For me, but because this is another independent LGBT company, and we have to support our own, you know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win. So make sure you do that. urbansocialites.com.
All right, that is it, y'all. Thank you, baby. Come on, sugar. Come on, sugar. That was a good episode. Y'all got intense.
Don't call me.
You're not emotional.
He's like, turn on his other half.
You just throw it
Better text Chris that time. Shit. You better text Chris that. That's
right.
Yes, always.
Honey, I just got cussed out about, from one of my homegirls who told me that same shit. Like, that shit's rude as fuck. And I was like,
Well, I live next
but I'm
door.
not fucking you.
Oh, okay. Right.
And, like,
So common for us to just ghost them. We don't respond no more. We don't answer back.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Courtesy, maybe, but not respect.
Courtesy, okay. But, no, I got shit to do. But here's the thing. I don't know who you're with, but I definitely no, I'm saying I don't know who you're with. Wait, hold on. I don't know who you're that's doing these things, but I know I usually tell my friends. Or it's the first time it's happened. I'm like, let me tell you something. I am the worst at text messaging. If you really want to FaceTime me or call me, because if you call me, I don't pick up, and you give me another call because I might have been on the phone. I tell people straight up.
Well, we've all been friends for years. He's been a friend of mine since
No, that's what I'm saying. I usually tell people that when there's, we know
You see me over here.
My best friend called me.
This is a garbage bag. I was being filmed on the phone.
You like, y'all
Anybody
want-
say that?
That's what my best friend on
Hey,
that.
y'all okay,
So I feel like when you're
You know what? I was waiting. I wanted to get to the. Would you date a transvestite?
their line of communication.
That was one of the questions. I'm like, no, I haven't, but I know some of my friends have.
I didn't hear them talk about that.
I feel like we can both take responsibility. You can
There's a club behind
definitely
that chair.
reach back out to me and call me again. And you check me, then I can say, see,
If they were-
that's not fair.
If they did it at night only.
I think they should be in real life.
Huh?
If it wasn't like you were
No, if they only did breakfast as a woman at night.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't know about that. But if they can't do it in the daytime, and they gotta be acute. They gotta be acute and petite.
That's my
Like, right. But you gotta.
Because you say
I'm apologizing that you feel that way, not because I did something wrong.
That might be a turn on.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? I am Wesley from A Connection TV, the Network, the One Channel on YouTube, where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And I am here to tell all you beautiful guys out there about an all-new male event in 2018. The month is Leo month, August. Of course, my birthday is in August, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to throw this event this particular time. But another reason why I decided to throw this event at this particular time, which is August 10th to the 12th, is because it's not a major holiday, so it won't be as expensive as it is to go on all of these other events during holiday seasons as it will be to go to mine. A lot of you guys have seen all of my travel videos. You say that you've gone to a lot of these events because of me. Thank you. And you've, over the years, have trusted my input to going to these events. Hell, I still get emails and messages on Facebook and Instagram about these grand events. You guys still are going, asking me for advice, and that's cool. But my thing is, it's about time that I threw something that I think would be great, fun, and is definitely needed. So, in 2018, I am throwing a couple events. One event is the cruise, which is April 19th to 23rd, 2018. It's going to be on the Carnival. It is called the second annual Brothers Cruise because we went on one this past March. We departed out of Orlando and we took the Victory. But this time we're going to be departing out of Miami, taking Sensation, and as opposed to going to Bahamas, we're going to go to Mexico, Cozumel. It's going to be fun, and this particular trip, although it is through Carnival, is going to be a collection of guys, and it's about brotherhood, it's about coming together, and it's about networking and having a great time. That's what this trip is all about. If you've never been on a Carnival cruise, I suggest that you do book this one so that you can be around like-minded individuals, aka gays. The Carnival does see a couple of us throughout their cruises, but it's not a lot of us. So I figured, why not organize an event on one of the Carnival cruises so that a lot of us will be in attendance. So definitely look into going on the second annual Brothers Cruise, and that's April 19th to the 23rd, 2018, and all the information is on eventsbywest.com. Now, the main event that I want everybody to really go to is in August 10th to the 12th, 2018, Fort Lauderdale at the Grand Resort and Spa. OMG, this particular resort is completely satisfying to all of our needs as traveling men. I've stayed at this resort quite a few times, and every time I go, I'm always completely satisfied. There are a few reasons why I think you would have a phenomenal time coming to my event. Reason number one, the resort in itself is gay owned. Oftentimes you go to all of these major, big budget events, and we always put our dollar into the straights. Always. We're always putting our dollar into the straights more so than we're putting it into our own pockets, into our own community. This resort is gay owned. This resort is obviously gay friendly. This resort is a neighboring resort to other resorts that are gay friendly. Reason number one why you should go to my event. Reason number two why you should go to my event is because it's my birthday and I want to celebrate and I want to have a good time, and every birthday that I throw, I have a phenomenal time, and the people that are in attendance always has a phenomenal time. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm all about fun, but I'm also all about quality, which leads into the number three reason why you should come to this event, the Grand Resort and Spa. The Grand Resort and Spa. The Grand Resort and Spa, okay? This event is not expensive like a lot of other events, okay? Rooms start at as low as $120 a night, but there's only 4 of those rooms left available for the $120 a night rate. It's a courtyard guest room, okay? One of the benefits to the Grand Resort and Spa, outside of every room having a microwave and a refrigerator, which is not offered at a lot of these events that you go to and these expensive ass hotels that you have to spend money at. But parking is free. Go figure. Go figure. Parking is free. Parking is free. There's continental breakfast no matter what room you're in, no matter what room you book. There's free Wi-Fi no matter what room you book, no matter what room you're in. Full service pool, full service jacuzzi, full service spa, pedi, medi, massages, facials, okay? All of that located at the resort. You don't have to walk this way, you don't have to walk a block this way to take advantage of everything that's offered. Also at the resort, there's an adult area that's clothing optional. So for those of you that like to walk around free, you can definitely do that. One of the things that I like about this resort as well, not only is the customer service top notch, but the resort caters to your every need in terms of visually stimulating gardens that you can walk through. And one of the things that I did when I was at the resort is that I took a shower outside because they have outside showers. So if you are kinky like me a little bit and you like those outside showers, definitely ask when you call to book, ask for Edward and say, Edward, I'm interested in the room with the outside shower. How much does that cost? It's exquisitely pleasant to take a shower outside. Reason number 4 why you should go to my event is going to be fully catered. Where can you go to an event and it's fully catered with actual good food? You don't actually have to leave the facility to get some food. Now I'm not talking about room service in terms of the hotel charging you $15 for a hamburger with no ketchup. I'm talking about actual food, okay? All of the information about the caterer is actually on the website at eventsbywest.com. Reason number 5 to go to my event. We're going to be supporting local gay artists who will be performing at the pool party and Sunday's events as well. If you know of anyone that would like to perform that has actual talent and they are gay, definitely send them my way in terms of giving me their information or you giving them my information so that we can hopefully connect and cross-promote and make things happen. I want to create a space where our people can perform and we're not booking straight artists who can care less about the gays to come to these events. We're booking gay artists to come to this event. So that's another reason why you should come to B-Men in Hot Lauderdale. Reason number 6 to come, the beach is 1 block away. Literally, you do not need an Uber to have a good time at B-Men in Hot Lauderdale. The beach is right across away. Like it's like 1 block up and you're at the beach, period. 5 blocks down the road and you're dealing with restaurants and the mall. Or shopping areas, let me say that. Because the mall is like a 4-minute Uber ride around the corner. But everything is within the vicinity of the resort. If you want alcohol, that's 1 block away. But depending on what pass you get, you probably get complimentary alcohol. Where is that offered? Complimentary. I don't know who does that. I don't know. Wesley does. That's who does that. Be Men in Hot Lauderdale is a party that was created for men who like to be men. It's a place where you can feel safe, it's a place where you can feel comfortable, and it's a place where you can be you, okay? Outside of that, I want to create an event space where it's not about the best body, it's not about who has the most money, it's not about who has the biggest following, it's about all of us realizing that we're all one and the same as far as gay is concerned, and us coming together to connect, bond, and network. We do have some sponsors that'll be assisting in creating this event and making sure that it goes through without fail. But if you are a potential sponsor or would like to cross-promote or feature some of your items or anything of the sort at the event, definitely hit me up at eventsbywest.com. So the schedule is as such. Friday, we have a welcome reception. We have a Spades and Games tournament that night, and we have a club party that night. Saturday is going to be a pool party, another Spades and Games tournament, and or karaoke night, and we're going to have another club night. And then Sunday will be a special screening, a brunch, and it will be a penthouse and jacuzzi party, which will probably lead into pajamas, which will probably lead to something else. One of the things that I also like about this resort is that they're running a sale during this particular time of the season, where if you buy 3 nights, you get the 4th night free. So you can come Thursday and leave Monday, or you can come Friday and leave Tuesday. That sale only applies to the rooms that are $160 per night or more. Granted, there are only 4 $120 rooms left. In order for you to book, you must book directly through the hotel. We're not doing anything on the website. You have to book directly through the hotel, and that's by phone number. The phone number to call to book is 954-630-3000. 954-630-3000. The contact is Edward, and Edward is your go-to guy for all the information that you would need regarding your room. You only need 1 night's deposit to reserve the room, and then you can pay the rest off when you get there. Make sure you have your coins ready to go. Also, this event is a private event, so not only do you need to be a guest at the resort to attend, you also need to buy a pass to attend as well. There's a VIP pass for $200, and then there's the regular guest pass for $100. Overall, no matter how much money you decide to spend, no matter what room you get at the resort, and no matter what pass you buy, this particular event is cheaper than all of the other events, and you get more. Besides a straight artist to perform, and besides giving your money to a straight owned event that really doesn't give a shit about your fucking ass, and really all they want is your money. Yeah, I mean, besides that, and then besides needing a car to travel everywhere, I guess, or being stuck in traffic to go to one of the events, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of differences here, and you don't need to travel overseas to have fun. You can stay on your own soil. I'm just throwing that out there too, you know, I'm just throwing that out there too. Besides, it's all about fun, baby, and it's all about fun at a good coin cost, okay? Not some expensive ass cost. It's in August, it is some time away, but rooms are being booked. There's only a certain amount of rooms at the resort. It's not like an 800 room resort. It's very intimate, it's very sexy, and it's gay owned once again, and it's gay owned once again. Okay? So definitely come and have a good time. I'm looking forward to meeting y'all. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all. I'm telling you right now, all of the times that you're in my DMs about everybody else's event, you can easily be in my DMs about my event. For us, by us. And I know Fubu might say a little something about this, but it's for us, by us. Holla at your boy with all the information on eventsbywest.com. Call Edward up now to book your room before it gets booked and there's no space left. Okay, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all at Be Men in Hot Lauderdale, a party where men can be men. And if you come on the cruise, it's going to be a party as well. Eventsbywest.com, more events will be coming to you. If you live in Atlanta, there will be a Spades and Games night starting in March.
Also, if you're looking for a fall trip, we will be doing a cabin trip as well very soon. So stay tuned to eventsbywest.com. Love you so much. Don't be scared to hit your boy up about the info regarding B-Men and Hardware. Love you.
Food stamps play into our society. That is actually a tool that should be used, yes, for, a bridge to help us out, but let's be clear, we are now on equal footing, okay? Our oppressors have been continuing to build wealth. Let's not forget that our ancestors 2 generations ago couldn't even get things like,
as far as like being very progressive for gay people in general, and you have a lot of reflections of gay people in very, very powerful positions there where they're allowed to be open and allowed to be, but I feel like, so from a corporate standpoint, DC's definitely got it, but I feel like from an artistic expression and probably just in a general expression, Atlanta is definitely on the front edge of progressiveness.
As a city, I will say that I'll admit that I just moved here literally 6 days ago. And I moved here from DC. And so I think that one of the reasons why I'm very conscious of moving to a place where I don't feel like a unicorn, or I don't feel like I stand out, or I don't feel like I have to work extra hard in order to fit in or to